Apple has a lot of new stuff coming out in the next year. Here is what parents need to know. Apple's Worldwide Developers Conference was last week, and in it they announced some of the main features they're bringing to their products in the coming year. They mentioned everything from Apple TV to iOS 13 to changes for iTunes and Apple Music, Apple Arcade, and even some new things that we didn't know to expect. Here are a few of the things that they mentioned that are relevant to us as parents. First of all, they're bringing multi-user abilities to Apple TV. So you can have a profile for yourself to feature the movies you're more interested in, and then change it over to a profile that features shows and things that your kids would prefer to watch. Speaking of watch, Apple Watch is changing too with a new operating system, some faster downloads, ways you can download apps directly on the watch, and some other cool features as well. They've completely restructured Apple Maps, making it more accurate and even cooler looking. They're focusing on privacy with Apple Maps, only using your location whenever necessary, and encrypting that information on both ends. And then Apple Arcade was another big announcement. They're bringing out Apple Arcade this fall sometime, and they're making it compatible with their controller and controller that are made by other companies like Logitech, as well as a PlayStation 4 or Xbox controller. You'll be able to play Apple Arcade games through Apple TV, your MacBook, your iPhone, or your iPad. And while some of the games don't look too interesting, they just look like buffed up iPhone apps, they're bound to have some pretty cool options coming out in the future. It's a one-price subscription that gives you access monthly, and there are no ads and no in-app purchases in Apple Arcade either. The new operating system for iPhone is coming out, iOS 13, and it has a lot of cool new features, including dark mode, a swipe-style keyboard option, faster app launches and downloads, and faster Face ID unlocking. They're adding new effects and editing abilities to photo and video on iOS 13, as well as a whole new structure and system for the way the Photos app works. Things like pinching and zooming to zoom into your photo galleries, sorting by dates and all of that. Looks like the photo app is going to be much easier to navigate and be a lot more relevant. Really, it seems like iOS 13 is just streamlining the operating system to use some of the powerful hardware that is now built into the iPhone. They've completely separated the iPad operating system from the iPhone one, calling it iPadOS, and it has a whole bunch of cool features as well. Finally, WWDC was totally about privacy and security. It didn't seem like they announced any features without highlighting how they handled data security for that feature in iOS 13, Apple TV, or Apple Watch. Every time it talked about sharing your health data on Apple Watch, they said how that data is encrypted or it's stored locally on your phone and doesn't go to Apple. Whenever they talked about how they've developed profiles on your location or what you like to watch or what you like to share, they talked about how that data was either encrypted or stayed local. They even talk about a security system through HomeKit that will allow videos to be stored and accessed locally and not be sent to any other company unless it's encrypted. The coolest security feature that Apple released is Sign In with Apple that allows, instead of using a Google or Facebook account to log into an app like many of them try to make you do, you can set up to log in with a new email address. Sign In with Apple will give you that new email address as a randomized, just temporary email that you never have to worry about. It will automatically forward any emails that go there to your iCloud account. This way, you're not giving your actual email address to all of these different companies. And you're able to log in with Face ID on your phone with no problem, and it's much more secure that way. There was a whole lot announced and mentioned at WWDC, but this is kind of what I thought might most be relevant for parents, especially when it comes to the security and data privacy. I've been on that a lot lately because it's kind of been in the media a lot. A lot of companies, including Facebook and Snapchat and Apple and Android and Google, they've all been talking about how they handle privacy because it can be a major issue, especially with our kids. I still recommend using care and discretion when you share private information online. It's important to only give apps the information they need to function. Don't give your location to an app that doesn't have to have your location in order to work properly. Don't give an email address or login information to any apps that don't require you to actually log in order to use the app to its fullest extent. Finally, share this stuff with your kids. tell them this is how we use these things to protect our own data and information. Because once this data is out there, it is out there for good. And it is in the hands of marketers, and it is the hands of governments, and it is in the hands of, worst case scenario, hackers who want to steal identity and use our money to buy things that they want, or use our identity to create whole new personas, and who even knows. I'm not big on fear tactics, but it is an important thing to keep in mind. We have to protect our data, and Apple seems to be trying, whether it's just a way to jab at Google and Facebook, or it's actual a desire to protect their users' information. Either way, hopefully we're benefiting from their heightened focus on data privacy and security. Thank you for watching. I'm Michael Prince with becausefamily.org and familytechblog.com. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. We could really use your support at patreon.com/becausefamily or becausefamily.org/partnership. Whether you want to give one time and donate through our PayPal account, or you want to sign up to give monthly through Patreon, either way, it would go a long way to help support our ministry as we continue to get this information to parents and help them make wise choices as they protect their families online. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.